Hey crew, what's going on? Nathan here. Today I want to talk to you about somatotypes. And I had a client this past week ask me about her nutrition plan and how it related to her specific somatotype. What's a somatotype? Well, all right, gang. Here we got our somatotypes. Yep, spell it right. Yep. Okay, so we have our first guy here. Okay, was our endomorph. And we talk about this person as they walk by Cinnabon, and just by walking by and smelling Cinnabon, they're gaining body fat. Over here we have our ectomorph. Okay, most people are jealous of this person because they can eat their face off and they never gain any weight. This person is, this person says they should be low carbohydrate diets. This person can be on a higher carbohydrate diet, lower fat diet. And then we have the guy in the middle. Bulging muscles. He's got the good pecs. He's got the abs. Okay, and this guy's our mesomorph. Okay, so like I said, the common prescription here for somatotype endomorph is basically a low carbohydrate diet. And you know what? This person can benefit from a low carbohydrate diet. There's no doubt about it, especially if they're coming from a sad American diet or they're coming from a calorie, in an instance where they've been eating so many calories, they're in a calorie surplus. Then yes, they can benefit from a low carbohydrate diet for a few weeks just to bring insulin back into more of and become more insulin sensitive as opposed to insulin resistant. But you don't have to do that. You can just make sure you're in a calorie deficit, in which case they're going to start to balance their insulin levels anyway and become more sensitive anyway. But you could go a little bit lower carbohydrate for a few weeks and then bring carbohydrates back. Now see, there's a lot of research as of late coming out, and especially as the last few months, there's been a lot of research coming out that if you have two groups of people who are wanting to lose weight, and we match the calories based on their body weight, and we match their protein, okay, protein's extremely important. I've talked about this before in many videos. And we match protein, and we just look at their, one group has a higher carbohydrate diet, other group has a higher fat diet. After a year, it's only like a pound difference in favor of the lower carbohydrate diet. So really, you can eat whatever you want as long as your calories are, in range for fat loss and your protein's high and matched. So it doesn't matter if you choose carbohydrates or you choose to eat fats. As long as you're within that range, you should be losing, or you will be losing body fat for the most part. It's the foundation, guys. Knowing your calories is the foundation. It's not the be-all, end-all by no means, but it is the foundation. It's the biggest bang for your buck. A lot of people will talk hormones here. Nate, what about hormones? Yes, hormones absolutely matter. But instead of going on some hormone, program or protocol or hormone diet, how about you get a good night's sleep? Quality and quantity sleep. That balances your hormones, okay? So this guy, the opposite of our ecto has to be in a calorie surplus if they want to start moving on this side or towards this side of the scale. This is me in high school, guys. People look at me now and say, I'm not bodybuilding anymore. So yeah, people when I was bodybuilding look at me and say I'm a mesomorph. But yeah, I'm probably somewhere in here closer to this guy than I am ecto. But you look at me and you say, oh, well, he's a meso. He can eat pretty much anything he wants, and he just walks into a gym and eats a salad once in a while, and he's ripped the whole time. No, that's not the case. Okay, that's not the case. I'm an ecto. That's how I was born, and it took me years. When I was in high school, I was always very active. I played 3 sports my first couple years of high school. Then I focused on basketball. I went and played college basketball for a couple years. So I was always feeding my face off to get bigger and to get stronger. I was always training to get bigger and get stronger. So I look like a mesomorph by the end of it. So again, classifying people and eating for a somatotype, I don't think is great because you don't know, is this their true somatotype, or is this where they've kind of gotten to at this point in time in their life? And I think it's just looking at a tree amongst the forest, okay? Stay within your calories, make sure you're eating high protein if fat loss is your goal. Stay within your calories, high protein, and then finish up the rest of your calories with fat and carbohydrate, and you will naturally start to move down this scale. This guy here in the middle, you know what? Yeah, obviously their genetics. I'm not saying genetics don't play a role at all in nutrition. They definitely do. But this guy right here, as genetically gifted as he might be, he still has to put a lot of work in. He still's got to train. He still has to be consistent with training. He still has to be consistent with eating healthy. You know, if we're going to talk about hormones, still consistent with going to bed on time. Yes, he might have a little more leeway than this person or leeway than that person, but in the end, it's still about dedication. It's still about adherence, and it's still about consistency. Dedication, adherence, and consistency. Those are your key, guys. That's the key to moving any which way you want on this scale. The other time where actually this week as well, I've had another client who mentioned it, is the blood type diet. And this is another type where I think we're looking at a tree amongst the forest. I'm type A, so I'm supposed to do really well with a plant-based diet. But when I was plant-based for those 5 years, I did really well the first year, but I was actually coming from a place of health. I wasn't looking to go on a plant-based diet to cure anything or to fix anything. I was already very healthy. I had great blood work. I looked phenomenal. I was shooting covers for fitness magazines. I felt phenomenal. First year of vegan and vegetarianism, I felt pretty good. And then by the second year, things started to go downhill. And I was stubborn, man. I went for 4 more years to try to figure that out. I went to nutrition school to try to figure it out. And then I finally realized through education that, there is no tribe on the planet that is 100% plant-based. So why am I trying to do this? Why am I trying to be an outlier? Okay, it doesn't mean vegetables aren't great. You should have a high vegetable diet. Absolutely, you should. But I started losing muscle mass. I couldn't recover from workouts. I was cranky all the time. Just wasn't a good mixture. Now, full disclosure here, my mom passed away in that first year, and it messed with my mind for a number of years, and that definitely played a role in my inability to make the vegetarian or vegan diet work. There's no doubt about that. But I did it for 4 years, guys. It didn't work for me. Doesn't mean it won't work for you, but again, I think you should just make sure if you are on a plant-based diet, you're always getting blood work to make sure that your blood work levels are in the right ranges. And if you need to take supplementation, you take it, okay? But just to kind of go back there, I'm type A and I didn't do well on this vegetarian diet. So again, these sweeping generalizations for diets, not good. All right, quick comment here since I mentioned it about sleep. If you guys want help with your sleep, check out nathanjackson.com, download my Foundations program. It's a 4-video series where I go over my 4 pillars of health: nutrition, strength and conditioning, restoration, in which case I talk about sleep quality and sleep quantity, and mindset. Guys, until next time, enjoy, have a great day, subscribe. Oh, by the way, that Foundations program, if I didn't mention it, it's free. Have a good one, guys. Take care.